JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 16th of October 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, some of the charts that we looked at this morning, just to see how everything's getting along. But yeah, as always, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation. It should not be considered as such and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now jumping into the instruments here. Now the first one I just want to quickly pick up on is the German DAX. You can see that today we're seeing this index trading slightly in the positive territory. Yes, we are seeing a bit of a correction here to the upside, but at the moment, basically, if it struggles to overcome this 21-day EMA, then maybe we could see this index maybe drifting back down here towards the lower bound of this rising channel that I've mentioned to you guys this morning. For now, that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Maybe the move lower here could happen not today, but maybe next week. So we'll keep a close eye on this lower bound of the rising channel. If it continues to provide support, then we could see a nice rebound and a push higher. If you're more on the cautious side, what you could do here is wait for a push back above this 13,152 territory, which is marked by the highest point of this week, and then yes, we could aim for higher levels because such a move would confirm a forthcoming higher high. Now jumping into the Nasdaq 100, now the index is still closed, but if we look at the cash index and where the price of that index is currently balancing at, we can see that we're getting a nice move back up. The price is currently sitting at around 11,970 zone, so basically just slightly below that psychological 12,000 territory. Now if we get a push back above that 12,000 territory, then of course this is what this idea that I've mentioned to you this week could work out, because what I was saying to you, that if we get a nice a reversal here from this upside line, if this upside line remains intact, then yes, we could see this one pushing back up. However, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, preferably a push above the psychological 12,000 territory, or even better, if you want this 12,205 zone marked by the highest point of this week, then yep, this could open the door towards higher levels. But like I said, I'll start looking at some higher levels if we get a push back above that 12,000 territory. Jumping into DXY here, the dollar index. This morning, if you remember, I've mentioned this one, and I was telling you guys to wait for that move above this 93.90 territory right here, as you can see, and this is exactly why, because now we're getting a reversal back down here. On the positive note, still that the price remains above the 21-day EMA. That's great, but yeah, that's the fact that it failed to move straight away above this barrier. Now this is where it kind of causing a bit of problems, I would say, for the bulls. So that's why I wait for that confirmation break first above this 93.90 zone. Ideally also I would like to see this daily candle kind of staying above this area as well. So maybe not this one, maybe it's going to end up this week somewhere around here. Maybe we'll leave the big move for next week, so who knows. But to be honest, we still have a full US session to go through, so be very careful in that one. Everything could change very quickly. So if we do get that strong push above this 93.90 territory, yes, we'll aim for some higher levels, but we'll be very careful still. So yep, for now guys, for now, keep your eyes on this downside line. At the moment, it's doing its job still. It's kind of holding the price from moving higher. But if you want to look at some lower levels, then well, I would prefer to wait for a drop below the 93 zone, roughly around here, and then aim for the downside. Now gold is trying to make its way higher. Yes, the slightly weaker dollar is kind of keeping gold from moving lower. Of course, let's put it this way, because it's not really pushing strongly to the upside. It's just kind of hanging around here near this 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line, and in addition to that, it still remains below this downside line taken from the high of the 18th of August. So if you want to aim for some higher levels, wait for a break of that downside line, and in addition to that, maybe wait for a push above the highest point of this week near the 1933 territory. So let's keep an eye on this one, because such a move here would confirm a forthcoming higher high and more buyers could be joining in. But until then, we'll take a bit of a neutral stand here, and even with a downside, I would prefer to at least to see a drop below the 1877 zone right here in order to consider further declines. Ethereum. So Ethereum is kind of moving lower, so the cryptos are kind of drifting a little bit to the downside. However, for now, on the positive note here is that overall this crypto is still trading above this upside support line taken from the low the 13th of March. From the shorter term perspective, the price still remains above this 21-day EMA, which could be seen also as a positive. However, if you want to aim for some higher levels, then we'll probably wait for a break above this 395 territory, which, as you can see, acted as a fantastic area of resistance recently, and also on the 17th of September as well. So again, a nice good pop above this area could open the door towards higher levels, and that's why for now I'm going to keep an eye on this area here, just to be, like I said, on the safe side. That's what I need to see in order to aim for some further upside. In terms of the downside now, if this drops again below the below that 21-day EMA, below this 365 territory, then yes, in a way there could be a possibility of seeing this one drifting further south towards this upside support line. So in a way, that's kind of the little my little target. This is where it's going to be, my little target, near this upside line. But again, if we see a drop below this 365 territory and below this 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line, so keep your eyes on that one, guys. AUDUSD. So this one, of course, is feeling the heat, especially the Australian dollar here lately. This week, you can see that yes, the Australian dollar was losing ground against most of its major counterparts, and the most important level here right now for AUDUSD is this one, the lowest point of September near the 1.0718 zone. Yesterday the pair did pierce that through, but the bulls were very quick to bring the rate back up here. So that's why again today we're seeing another test of this area. So let's see if we can push further below that. If we can, then my next target is this 200-day EMA, which probably currently is roughly around the 1.0690 zone. So let's see if we can get a nice move here. Of course, when I've previously covered this one, and I was saying, and beginning of this week I was covering this one, and I was saying that if we get a drop below this 1.0771 territory, then yes, my next target is the 1.0718 level. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've covered AUDUSD on Wednesday. No, sorry, yeah, on Wednesday. This is where it was trading at. I was saying that there is a possibility for this one to recover a little bit, and look at this beautiful recovery here towards this crossing here between these two lines, and then from there it kind of drifted back down. So basically, this week this pair worked out nicely according to the plan. So 1.0718 level got hit. I'll take that as a perfect kind of move here. Now let's see if this pair can continue drifting lower, where the next target is this 200-day EMA. Now, of course, there's a lot of movement today in GBPUSD. Of course, everything's in regards to the Brexit talks. Initially, PM Johnson came out saying that he's everybody should be preparing for a no-deal Brexit. So yeah, I mean, but then there were some EU officials that came out saying that they're willing to continue to discuss. So kind of the pound GBPUSD here stabilized a little bit, but there were a few movements, as you can see, by this daily candle. So by the huge tails that we have here on this daily candle. So but the most important here is that, as I mentioned to you previously this week, when I was covering GBPUSD, that if we want to look at some lower areas, we need that drop below this 1.2864 level. And look at this beautiful move today, where the pair did drift lower but tested this area perfectly, from which it rebounded back up, and now trading again above it. So basically just proves that this is quite an important level to watch, this 1.2864 near the 100-day EMA here, shown as the green line. So if we get a nice drop below this, then this could open the door towards further declines, but at least but only up until this upside line, because that's what I'm going to be aiming here for. If we get a drop below the 1.2864, I'll aim for lower levels, but only up until this upside support line taken from the low of the 18th of May. In terms of the upside, maybe I would prefer to see this one actually at least pushing back above the psychological 130 territory, and then we could consider a move maybe higher. But again, at the moment, it seems that the upside could be slightly off the table. However, we cannot really talk about the downside yet as well. So it's a bit of a tricky one, let's say, here. But if we do get a pushback above the psychological 130 territory, then yes, I'll start considering higher levels. To be a little bit more comfortable with the upside, then yes, a push above the 1.3083 level, marked by the highest point of this week, could do the trick for more buyers. A quick update on USDCHF. This morning I talked about this one, and I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this potential bullish flag pattern. But as you can see, once again, we've tested this barrier, the 0.9163, and kind of moved back down. So, but the pair didn't really move sharply to the downside. It's just hanging around here in the same levels where it traded on Thursday and Wednesday. So in other words, we can see here a nice potential bullish flag, but we cannot really talk about that yet until we get a nice pop above at least above the 0.9163 territory. Quick update on EURGBP. So this morning I talked about this one again, and look at this beautiful move now, above the 0.1990 level. So we were still hanging around below this barrier, and what I was saying this morning, that in order to consider the upside and kind of keep in mind the bearish the falling wedge. There we go, not the bearish one, but the falling wedge. These tend to be positive according to all the TA rules. These patterns tend to be positive according to the TA rules, and you can see why. Yep, we're now popping higher. We're breaking above the 0.1990 level. So but again, as always this week, let's wait, because what we don't want to see is the same scenario that we kept on having here, where we keep getting these false breakouts. But to be honest, now, given that, for example, on Thursday, that we saw the daily candle remaining above this upper side of the of the falling wedge, this kind of increases the chances for a further move higher. But what I would like to see here now is this daily candle today remaining above this 0.1990 level. So let's see if that happens. If so, then yep, my next target is the 0.9157. And finally, EURUSD. So we're again, this is what I keep saying always, guys, wait for that confirmation break, and ideally I would prefer to see always the daily candle remaining outside of the or below or above a certain level. So here in this situation, I've mentioned this morning as well that yes, we had another test of this 1.1696 territory, but we need that strong move below this area before considering further declines. And as you can see, this is exactly what I meant by that. The pair started reversing back up. I'm not saying that we're bullish now, but for me to get bullish again, I would need to see this one pushing above the 1.1831 level right here. Until it's gonna as long as it remains in this little territory, I'll remain a bit on the neutral side. But of course, the temptation here is for the downside, but we cannot really talk about the downside yet until we get that strong move below this 1.1696 level. So keep your eyes on that one. And then, of course, my next target is the 1.1612 zone, marked by the highest point of the lowest point of September, which is not far from that 100-day EMA. So let's keep an eye on that one. So, guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you, like I said, enjoyed this one. I really appreciate your time. So, yes, thank you very much for joining in. If you want to catch my video on Monday, as always, my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.